Hello and welcome to our DIY luxury closet build. We are a little over halfway through and wanted to get part 1 of the build posted since we still have a long way to go before we are finished the closet and can do a final reveal to all of you. Summer has been busy with the yard and all of the new koi, so once the fall comes we will be in a good place to complete the closet. Unlike many DIY builds you'll find on YouTube, ours is definitely not an Ikea hack. Every aspect of the build is 100% DIY, and we will walk you through every step so you can take on a project like this on your own. We hope you enjoy the build and are able to draw some inspiration from it. Neither one of us is a professional mill worker by any means, so sit down and relax and join us while we walk you through the design and what we have done to date. The closet is on the large size, measuring in at approximately 150 square feet. It is L-shaped with 6 wall faces, each covered with a variety of different styles of cabinets. Surrounding the room are 12 10-foot high floor-to-ceiling sections comprising a total of 32 individual cabinets. They are made from a combination of hard rock maple melamine and walnut plywood. The entire closet is faced with solid walnut and includes details like fluted columns, custom rosettes, corbels, detailed floor base, and crown molding throughout, none of which are shown in this rendering. Other than the typical items like the melamine and plywood, the only other item that was not made by hand was the crown molding. This came down to not having equipment large enough to handle the task. We designed the closet in AutoCAD, but you can easily complete the design with a number of other software programs like SketchUp or simply with a pencil and paper. We would highly suggest you follow closet design standards similar to this, which you can easily find online. Following standard heights will ensure everything is easily reachable. Because of the height of our closet, we already knew we would need a small step ladder to reach any of the upper shelves. You can basically divide each section of cabinets into 3, a top, middle, and a bottom. The top section is always an open double shelf for seasonal storage. The middle and bottom sections have 2 options. Option 1 is both sections are combined into one unit with a tall hang rod or a double hang rod. Option 2 is both sections are separate units, with the bottom as a bank of drawers and the middle is a single hang rod or open for a mirror or artwork. Now that you have an idea of what the new closet will look like, let's take a quick look at what the closet looked like before any construction took place. The first step of the build was to empty out the existing closet. In our case, we had previously installed and leveled all of the cabinet bases. It is important to make sure that it is level, as a small error in the base can translate into a large error at the top of the cabinets. The cabinets where the middle and bottom were combined into one unit were too big to build in the shop and move in, so we opted to cut all of the parts in the shop and assemble them in the closet. The joints are screwed together with pocket screws. None of the edges have any treatment at this point, as we will be adding trim later. If you choose not to do any of the final trim work, you will need to finish the exposed edges before you do any of the assembly. The design we chose was to have the vertical surfaces finished in hard rock maple, with the exception of the 2 sections by the entrance. The horizontal surfaces would be finished in walnut along with the trim work. The interior corner cabinets, which there are 5 in total, were of this style, so we built those and positioned them before we moved on to any of the other smaller cabinets. From this point on, we were left with smaller cabinets that could be easily built in the shop. Here we walk you through the process of assembling one of the small bottom drawer units. The individual pieces are first cut to size and all of the pocket screw holes are pre-drilled. To assemble, tack 2 pieces together with brad nails and then finish the corner off with the pocket screws. Repeat this process for all the corners. It is important to choose your pocket hole locations carefully to ensure that there are no fasteners on any visible surfaces. Since the back is not a fastening point when installing the cabinet, you can align it with the sides and secure with brad nails. If you need to attach your cabinets to the wall, make sure the back is securely fastened to the cabinet sides with screws at a minimum. Once we finished building the smaller cabinets, it was time to bring them into the closet, place them, and start tying them together. Since we were face trimming the cabinets, we needed some spacers between each of the vertical units. In our case, the trim was to be 4 inches. you need to subtract 1.5 inches for the sides, which left us 2.5 inches for the spacers. Here again we used pocket screws, which allowed us to attach the cabinets with no visible fasteners. By using the spacers, we could ensure the bottom and middle, or middle and top of units were tied together with a tight joint. Later the trim will be added to strengthen this joint even more. We used the spacers at the front and the back of the units to ensure everything was square and plumb. Because every wall of the closet was to have cabinetry and there were many right angle corners throughout, there was no need to attach any of the cabinets to the walls. Once they were tied together, it would create one large structural unit. You can sequence your install any way that works for you. Here we install the hanging rods. We did this one evening as it was a small job that could be fit into the time that we had available. There were also times where we were waiting for materials, so having small tasks like this were perfect as fill-in work. For some of the larger cabinets, or for those that are high up, it's always good to have an extra set of hands. That's about it for part 1. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you can join us for part 2, where we will finish off installing all of the cabinets, including the drawers, lighting, and the final trim. We will also walk you through the build process of the drawers and the trim work. We appreciate you joining us and see you next time.